Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a NA Sunday night fight for you. The first round here is Nicodemus Hill, a fair and balanced map, followed up by our second map, which is Boulevard Heights Readout. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you can get live streams of all the broadcasts you do. You can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos and get raw gameplay footage with no commentary and UI of all the events we cover. So with that being said, on the Confederate side today, we have 2 Corps, I Corps in the Army of Northern Virginia, whereas on the Union side, you got the Irish Volunteer Brigade, the Pennsylvania Army, 5th New Hampshire, and the Sussy Brigade. Quickly, before we get in, we got some frontline reporters for the Union perspective tonight. We got Longstreet from the IVB, and we have, for the CSA perspective, Corn Pops from the CSA side. Very appreciative of both. And co-commentating with me, we got Corded.
Hey, Florida, Captain 6th Louisiana, 2nd Corps. I love how rehearsed you have that intro now.
I mean, you say
so
it so
good.
many times, it like just rolls off the tongue. And then also, a very special guest with us today, we have General Cody.
Howdy, folks. Excited to be here. Should be a good time.
Heck yeah. So, Nicodemus Hill, a thing of beauty. Would either of you like to give a... what do you think both sides should do in terms of strategy?
So I think an attack on the left, just a full-out blown charge, pushing on that left side, hidden from artillery. I think that would be the best push. But it looks like Union troops are going to be pushing on the right to get started. So, you know, not really playing by the rule book here, or at least the kind of go-to play maneuver. But I think... Oh, man, they're already making a push. We'll see how it goes. Bit of a gamble on the right side, though.
Yeah, I know with the cavalry that the CSA has and just the stone wall being a nice position, it can be hard for Union to break through, and so that's why the right side, they try to go to that side, because if CSA just hunkers up, they can cap the point relatively easy and draw them down. But Cordy, you got any thoughts on strategy for CSA?
I think it's good for Union to go to the right side at this point because Union isn't really feeling that much artillery guys. And then if you're putting a lot of people behind the barn, it's just actually a new barn too. Different from like the past 6 years or whatever. There's actually less cover now behind the barn.
Is that hay on top new?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, man.
it's like the barn on Roulette Lane.
Noodle little home for the Union.
It's just like, yeah, it's like the first time I've seen this. So actually now, I think it's more difficult for CSA artillery to hit there, and now the flags can kind of be a lot closer and still be able to spawn people in.
Especially with
using
that
that
5-second
right
respawn.
side of the barn. Get those flag bears there and pretty much uncontested. Already can't strike there unless they try to bounce some rounds on the side. But a really good staging ground for this push towards point.
And CSA just kind of let them. They're holding up on that stone wall, just taking shots. You saw A&V, who was holding the CSA left, now completely falling back, heading to the right side of the map.
And there is no infantry on the right. Artillery's fending for themselves right now. And I think CSA getting the late message to start to shift over. It looks like they're doing volleys from a distance. Not going to be that effective. So we'll see how things play out. But you can see both sides, you know, really cautious of enemy artillery, making sure they stay in cover.
And speaking of that, we got about a 200-man server right now. CSA having 12 guys on artillery. Union having 10 with the developer Mullix himself there. So, good chunk of guys, about a tenth of each team. So, Union's inching their way up, using the houses as cover, taking shots at CSA, but I like the CSA approach. You gotta kill time as defenders, just sit back, avoid ticket loss, wait for Union to cap, force them to cap, really. And
One thing you can see the CSA artillery doing is on the right side, they're pushing guns up the hill. You can see they kind of blew up that straight fence, and they're just gonna push this up on this top of this hill and get some better shots.
I feel like
I like it when people do that. I remember like the first day that the destructible fences came out. This is like the first thing I did. Nicodemus Hill was the map that was just on. I was like, I gotta get this thing in a good position.
I remember that day. I remember that broadcast very well.
Yep. Now everyone does it. I started it. I claim it.
Recorded.
You can see IVB starting to push up on that fence line towards the White House. Artillery or CSA artillery not in view of them.
You can shoot them up there
So,
too, on the right.
Get some
Hey
good
guys, 1
concealment.
o'clock.
Nothing to worry about. We'll see if CSA already does decide to push their guns a little bit more forward. But there are, you know, not that many guns in operation. Maybe about 10 guys.
Yeah, they got, what, 3 guns there. PA capping the point for Union, stopping the clock. I like the idea. You got some I-Corps, 6 Georgia guys moving down the hill, moving in to cap that point. Retake it, and they need to retake it quickly. They want to keep that black timer moving, and they're going to regain some tickets here.
This is where CSA artillery needs to just fire the house, because they can actually send rounds through the house and like get it on the porch in the front.
Can canister go through the house?
I don't know if canister can.
Don't think so.
Change the name to Billy Yank.
You
Yeah.
see one of the guns, the parrot gun getting pushed up just over the crest of the hill, and they're lining up a shot on that flag bearer on the left side of the White House.
Oh my god, it's Hudson.
This might be a devastating shot. Oh, and it is. See a lot of Union troops using that French porch for
Get up, gentlemen.
front porch for cover.
the flag.
Oh, do you guys see the gun that's sticking up right in the middle of that artillery shot where that hit? There's like a rifle standing. Oh, it disappeared. So sad. But yeah, it looks like Union have sent PA back up to try to retake the point, but again, CSA just, I guess it's still a counterattack. I thought they retook it, but
Yeah.
looks like 59th moving up as well to assist PA.
And you can see how aggressive the Confederates are. They're pushing over towards the stone formation towards the center of the map, trying to get them on multiple flanks. Only issue with that is you got the Union already right behind them, ready with canister.
Yeah, they got 2 guns aiming that way right now. Oh, counter battery killing an artillery guy. Almost Mullix as well, but he cheats with his dev powers and doesn't die.
Another good thing that Union is doing is they're sending guys to harass the artillery, because those are some easy tickets that you can get. So you've actually got my company from 6LA that actually had to bounce over, and they're attacking 58, which is still in 2nd Corps. That are on the artillery. So it's very fun to watch them shoot each other.
Corded likes watching his own men die.
Well, it's not my man. It's someone else's, technically.
So we got Archer, the 6LA, leading the 2nd Corps up, waiting for them to give the order. Looks like the coast is clear. Gonna get some quick shots off on the fence line. Maybe dropping the Artyman. Officer is down. Nice.
Yeah, with all the bad stuff I say about artillery during BLN, 50A artillery sometimes does not like me. Me and Captain Howie have a special
A
relationship.
special relationship. Artillery is trash. Get it out of here.
Looks like we have 6 Georgia coming in, trying to cap the point. It looks like it's actually working. Drawing those Union troops into the open for Arty to counter.
Oh, good shot from Union Artillery. I got about a guy or 2 there. Definitely at least suppressed most of them. Knocked down a good chunk. Both sides about a similar morale stage, ticket-wise, but I mean, this is what Union kind of has to do on this map. If CSA is going to sit down in a really nice defensive position, you as Union got to take up the side that they're not going on, which they did by going up the right. And now it's just a tug-of-war match. Union trying to keep that point cap, stopping the black timer, make sure everyone's losing tickets. This is going to be a slow but a efficient way to win.
Yeah. And I'm actually, really impressed with the Union. It usually takes multiple attempts to get that foothold on the fence line. So for them to be able to make that first push and start holding it from the get-go, it's going to give them a huge advantage in terms of ticket numbers. And I think, Confederates going into this, we're assuming, like I said at the start of the match, pushing heavily on that left in the forest. So, going against what's very common of this map, pushing right side, I think was a really wise decision.
Yeah, and even the natural reaction for CSA now is to pull away from the left side when Union comes to attack it. Just because like the cover that they get from the barn is usually just too much of a ticket drain on the CSA trying to attack it. So they just let it be.
Yeah, so a mix of groups of guys are moving down from CSA to make sure they retake that point. Sevi just ran out in the middle of the open field and died. And 5th VA is now moving up as well. So more Unions starting to pour in to try to keep it cap. If not that, yeah, they're going to keep it.
They pour that fire into him, gentlemen.
Wow. Great execution. And IVB with the batteries in the back for the Union. Knowing that there's no Union troops on the cap point, easy target to counter. That wall is probably not going to be there for much longer.
Just imagine if you could line up a canister shot just down this fence of Union.
You spoke it into existence. I think that was K's shot, but it does just enough, knocking everyone on the ground. Flag bearers running back.
Jeez.
It's not. The shots didn't really kill that many people because you can see these guys are pretty spread out. So most people are getting knocked down with only like a couple kills.
And yeah, those couple kills will be back in 10-15 seconds. So
Back to the shack.
Yeah, so our artillery is really good to time with infantry pushes.
what is Sevi doing here? Sevi and a couple IVB guys running up the middle of the map right now. Oh, stopping, turning around, stopping.
No, it's out of bounds.
Already
Imagine,
on that southern hill.
imagine,
Looking right at Sevi.
imagine if we had a map where Union spawned kind of in this orchard area right behind where they're at, and then the point of contention was on top of the hill where CSA is holding, and Union just had to charge. That would be river crossing 2.0.
Not fun.
I mean, at this point, CSA is going to have to make a full frontal assault if they want to retake the point. They've tried to send smaller groups at the point, but Union's countered it perfectly. And so if CSA is going to want to keep that black timer going, they got to get aggressive here with their whole team quickly. Or else Union will just win based on the gold timer going to 0 or just a bunch of tickets being lost. Either way, you're losing, so you got to push and be aggressive now, at least to retake the point.
And Union troops do a really good job on the ticket count. They have a slight lead being the attackers, which is really impressive.
Twin banners, load and hold.
I think now would be a good time for CSA to bring their cavalry kind of around their guns on the left side and just fire down on the Union. I mean, at this point, they don't have to worry about tickets.
Right, because regardless, they're going to get up to Union. I don't know, though, because if CSA tries to engage Union for any reason other than trying to capture the point, I don't know why they would do that, because you don't want to have the Union lose too many tickets. Unless you're saying Corded have the Cav go around the left and the rest of the team hit point, but...
Well, at least have the Cav closer, because, I mean, with most of these people being, like, 150 plus yards away from where their target is, they're not going to be hitting much, to be honest with you.
It's A and V who's the Cav, and they're on the CSA right.
I think an ideal push for the Confederates, if they do decide, or when the time comes to push, A and V pushing around that right flank, holding that fence line, and that's going to draw those Union forces out from the house into open territory for the Union already to strike them. So I think in terms of a push, initial push, I think that would be the flank to push on. But we'll see how things go. Still very hard to decide where this Confederate counterattack is going to come from.
It's gonna be bloody regardless. All right, Savvy's going up the center again.
Serpentine!
I just want you guys to be really,
What's the incentive for
conservative
that?
up there, and if you
Why is
die,
he
do
pushing
go
up
back
4
to the right
guys?
side.
Is he trying to draw fire away from his main line? It doesn't really make too much sense. Those guys, you know, are pretty much out of line. There's a lot of tickets lost if they lose 1 or 2 guys there.
Savvy doesn't care about tickets.
I mean, Union's up by a little. It's not. It's not really the end of the world, because it's only a couple. But I mean,
Yeah.
what Confederates are going to regain up to Union, and if Union loses a few more tickets, oh well, that means Confederates can't regain as many. Speaking of Confederates, here they go, pushing point.
So pushing down the middle. See how the Union counters.
That was a good
That
time to
Confederate
artillery
arty
shot.
is ready.
Yeah, good time shot. Knocked down a couple CSA, getting on point pretty effectively. Union trying to use the basically almost destroyed straight fence.
Oh man, CSA arty seems like they preemptively aimed at that fence line, allowing Union or Confederate forces to push up on with the numbers advantage.
Fine.
And AMV pushing in on the flank to reinforce the center. Now it's just a slugfest for how many kills they can get.
CSA is going to get a majority, it looks like.
AMV is pouring in from behind, and there at least will take the point. Union keeping their flags back, it looks like. Dang.
AMP needs to go and get those flags.
They really should. I mean, you wipe the flag.
Especially with the pistols.
They're just letting them rip.
They're gonna take the point. Those flags are gonna start running away soon, I think.
And
If they've got, that's all 4 flags are hiding behind that little shed.
they push a little bit more right, keep that pressure
They're
on.
leaving. No.
So, Cordy, do you want to play that MP3 file that you sent me earlier today? ANV doesn't know. ANV don't know. Anyway,
ANV doesn't know.
there it is.
There you go. ANV doesn't know.
Doesn't know.
Man, we
I-
roll up on them like some fuck.
I mean, seriously though, that would have been huge because if ANV pushed up and wiped those flags, like Union's out of flags for 5 minutes, assuming they don't pick it up, and it's going to be very hard for Union to kind of hold on the ground. And CSA might be able to defend that orchard, but
We got Huncho on top of the stone wall getting knocked off. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a very
Yeah.
ballsy move from him.
love Honcho.
I think these I-Core guns on the far right should move farther right to the east, because if they get far enough right, they can like fire into the porch. I think they'd also have better shots on. I think that's IVB here. Kind of, I don't. This other tool shed. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. And it's completely uncontested over there, so why not? Definitely ammo is not a concern for the CSA
And
already.
the CSA Rainbow was going for barn and it died.
It's like IVB is pretty pissed at the Confederate arty. Letting all hell let loose on that right flank.
They got one.
I think they should just stay up there, honestly.
I mean,
Canister's not really going to do anything to you that close if the line's like facing it. And I mean, there's only one officer over there. There's not much to worry about. I would just stay up there and independent fire.
Union's actually down on tickets right now.
They're the attackers, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine that they're down a little bit. You got 59th moving up the point to try to cap it, but some I-Corps guys, 6 Georgia, preventing them from doing that.
I don't think they even see those guys in the bushes.
They're right
Really.
in front of us. They're right in front of us. Just shoot down the wall.
We have coin toss over on the far right flank with the saber out charging Union arty. This is an interesting move. I think he might have some PTSD. He's a bit lost.
Oh, there goes Lucky. He's going in, though.
Oh. Can he get the shot?
Hey, got it.
And he
Yeah, yeah.
does. Wow.
Hey, Young is going to cap again.
Yeah, just good idea. I mean, they're down on tickets. You got to try to draw the Confederates out. Union, I think the biggest thing with this cap is to either try to hold for 12 minutes and win, or find some way to get some huge ticket, or at least even out the tickets again. They're not too far off, and it's not bad, but you don't want to get too far down on tickets from these things. Because if Union loses the same amount of tickets that they did last time, they're going to be down, what, half a morale stage, so...
So the point is capped. Union troops now backing off from the objective. Now it's going to be a waiting game for the CSA to push in. We'll see if they do the same assault. It was pretty effective last time around. I definitely think, though, if A and V can swing around on that right flank and keep those Union troops pinned in, it could be really good news if they do drop those flag bearers and keep them at bay from respawn.
Looks like some CSA
This
go
is
back to
big
point.
IVB line that an artillery shell could totally hit.
I feel like you're jinxing them, Corden.
What? What do you mean? I would love for them to be hit like that.
He's aiming in. We'll see if they got two guns over there. It looks like one is operational.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
IVB getting a little bit complacent here. I don't know if they're aware of that artillery gun.
Probably not worried, honestly.
Yeah, knowing Sevi, he is a anti-artillerist and thinks artillerist, or not artillerist, but
Rhymed.
artillery is not great.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, there you go.
I got a good chunk.
Making the battle in the sun look like a fucking...
Let's see if they kind of tuck in a little bit more. Get a little overextended there. And here we go. CSA making another push.
I like it.
Both flanks converging on the objective. We'll see if A and V decides to push around. They got revolvers out, ready for this engagement. Big advantage for the CSA right now, especially on that right flank with those revolvers.
CSA pushing through very well. Rest of the Union starting to move in. Some Union going for CSA artillery on top of the hill, which I don't know if they realize what's happening, but
The cavalry got knocked out.
59th came in from behind. 5th NC, mostly 5th NC, sorry.
Ooh.
That was in the middle there. And I don't know if CSA is trying to countercharge this or not. It's very close. I mean, CSA doesn't have flags down here. Union does. Union's kind of even out the tickets.
Yep, and we got 6LA and IVB pushing in now on the far left side. Looks like Union troops are going to win this engagement, but not by much. Pretty even duel between the two.
CSA does retake the point. Union kind of slowing down right now. I'm surprised the CSA edged that one out.
Yeah, I love the destruction mechanics.
That's, I think,
Fence,
that
just the fence is blowing up, one of the coolest things.
that's the greatest thing going from a laptop to like a nicer PC is seeing the fences blow up and then actually seeing the destruction. It's so nice.
Now, it would be cool to see, you know, an actual hitbox for those pieces of wood flying in the air. If it lands on a line, at least maybe knocking troops down would be a cool feature.
That would be something.
I definitely don't want to get hit by a 2x4. Not fun.
See Sevius running on the wall.
Falling,
He almost fell off.
whistling.
Wow. You know, that's an officer I would gladly follow into battle. Look at him. Single-handedly getting 2 kills. Still whistling.
Oh,
Taking losses. He got 5.
Ooh.
5 for
Goes
5.
down.
That's beautiful.
Great showing.
if any CSA artillery guys are watching this video right now, you can fire through the house. I think.
I think.
I'm pretty sure they've done it before. Or at least, like, hit the people that are on the side of it. You know?
But I mean, Cordy, to your point, you know, we got Allen here on the far right gun, the Napoleon. If he can just shift that a little bit more right to where that Confederate line is, doesn't have to worry about the Confederate Union troops pushing out in the open. They can try and get some shots right next to that Porsche and getting some... Oh, actually, that was a pretty good shot. But I do
Not
think
bad if you
swinging those guns around would help.
Yeah. You can see all the dead people around the point too, right around the corner.
Fifth New Hampshire on the point. Artillery, I don't know, hit right next to someone and didn't kill him.
2 shots didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. Mad Dog from 5th New Hampshire's really far down the stone wall, and he dies to MJ. Now, Union's got plenty of time. I wonder if Union's going to spend the next so or so minutes shooting him down to breaking, or if they're going to try to cap again. Both options work. I mean, Union's got plenty of time at this point, so... Regardless, we're going to have a shootout rest of the match.
Yep, and we got a very small skirmish force from AB pushing in on the cap point. And it looks like it is enough to cap. We'll see if Union troops do decide to push back in. But so far, sitting back and just doing some volley fire from a distance. Union getting a little comfortable, though, getting pretty in the open. Easy shots for Confederate Arty. It looks like they are going to be falling back to the barn or shed.
Yeah, but they're Baltus guns.
Yeah, that's NBC. You can do a lot. If you were looking at this like a pretty high up bird's eye view of the battlefield right now, you got like 2 long CSA lines against like long Union lines. It looks pretty cool. If you like right click, turn the flags on. It's,
Yep.
pretty nice.
We're watching the 10th US right now.
Suggested to,
10th US likes their big long lines, skirmishing lines.
Oh,
Was anyways.
We got Bobby from the 59th New York on the extreme left flank of the Union line. All by himself in the woods, behind enemy lines. Saving Private Bobby.
So we're officially on the quote-unquote 15-minute mark of the round. We're almost there. The unofficial 15 minutes through the round. And Union just seems fine sitting and shooting. Not... Okay, maybe as I say that, PA is running to the point. Ninja likes capping his points, that's for sure. And... Yeah.
I've got to say the discipline from the CSA, though. You can see that line spacing on that hillside. 2 to 3 man spacing. Staying in formation. They're doing a really solid job of making themselves a small target.
CSA actually starting to go down the hill. 6 Georgia, once again moving down that hill to stop PA.
Lucky you're far. Lucky you're a bit far out.
Couple more Union guys shifting on the point. Actually, it's just PA respawning. Dang, rip PA. Can kind of see what ANV's seeing on this right side. I mean, these are just long shots for CSA, but
yeah, I wish AMV would just get closer. Those Strauss rifles.
I mean, maybe going to the rocks on the right, but at that point, you'd be cornering yourself.
I would still suggest just going top of the hill where the CSA already is, kind of just on the left side, have a really easy shot on anyone that's in there. Just, you got first Maryland and a couple other guys hitting the CSA already up top.
IVB's going to
I don't
point.
think not kill anybody.
Flag, stay with us.
Already is trained on their position. They need to get some shots off and dip. Looks like 5th North Carolina is also going to be pushing in with the 72nd. And they're going to be pushing a little bit more towards the stone wall. So trying to spread out as much as possible, but clearly not enough. There's only so much you can do when you got 12 guns looking at you.
Good chunk of those guys only got knocked down, though. Good for them. So, I mean, they're going to keep this cap going.
Seems like when people are knocked down, it's harder for them to get killed by Artie.
What'd you say?
What do you mean by that?
Well, they were like, that one shot knocked people down and killed a few people. And like the 2 shots that came in after that, like didn't kill anybody.
While they were
still
knocked
pretty
down?
close. Yeah, while they were knocked down.
So we had AB there kind of do a feint charge with some skirmishers on that stone wall. Looks like they did decide to fall back, do some more shots, and I think this is the right approach. Let Artie do the talking and try to conserve as many tickets. However, looks like Union troops are going to be able to cap the point back. So once again, delaying that timer.
7 minutes. Can the Union hold it? We'll see. And I wonder if we'll see the CSA try to push the Union in the last stand. It's very avoidable, but who knows?
Going at 6, guys.
I heard going at 6. 30 seconds.
Man.
There we go.
CSA starting to clump up on the right. I think when AV charge, they need to be kind of delayed. Because yeah, last time they went in and they started to get targeted by some of the Union infantry. They were closer than some of the non-cav units, and they're going in front again.
I agree. I think a 2-pronged attack, especially trying to separate those units from that Artie fire, getting a little bit more separation, and also just having some more reinforcements towards the end of that engagement once they get into melee combat. But Union troops looks like they are going to be focused on securing the stone wall over and taking the fence line on the right side. Actually, take that back. They are going to be shifting down to the right.
I think this needs to be like a full CSA attack. Just try and wipe the Union here.
Yeah, they need to keep going.
I would just push past point.
Push them in the
Just
last
let Union
stand.
come into them.
Looks like
Oh wow!
That was a lot of team kills.
Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
Don't
I
read
can
the
see
chat.
Who did that? Oh no! it's all second corps artillery.
Who's getting banned? Who's getting banned?
Ah,
Oh, that was an I-Corps team kill.
Oh, he missed.
wow,
That's embarrassing.
that's not good.
Union just won the point back.
That was more team kills.
Oh, man.
Well, I heard a IVB guy say this a while ago, but how can you tell the difference between friendly and enemy artillery? And his reply was, friendly artillery hits you. Anyways.
Yeah, friendly artillery is more accurate for some reason.
Just a gentle shove in the back. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Love tap.
But
But yeah, I think CSA artillery lost that one for their team. Cav flag went down.
Both sides are breaking.
I think
Gotta run that back. Get that safe. That's very important.
A ballsy move here from the Union. Looks like they are bunching up their their flag bearers. Not the best strategy. I know they want to have some cohesion when pushing in like that, but easy targets, especially when they're side by side.
yeah, especially with artillery fire. I mean, with the flags
there it
being
is.
so far up, it makes me believe that Union wants to try to hold this point. But I mean, Union could be perfectly fine just falling back and trying to make a push for the point because they have the right side. There's no point throwing your flags away here and completely losing the right side. And
Getting a little
CSA's getting
overextended
majority
here.
again.
yeah.
We have one flag bearer left for the Union. What seemed to be such a good assault and hold.
Archers running.
started to fade away.
I mean, I think Union holding that just because CSA spawns closer and everything. Sure, CSA artillery real messed up bad, but Union really should not have lost those flags. Because if I were CSA at this point, you got to stay near the point, obviously. I guess you could pull it back to the hill, but wherever Union's going to try to attack, I think you need to copy them, especially since they don't have flags and they can't respawn guys in. Don't let Union retake ground.
Yep. I think the biggest thing, like you said, is just shadowing troop movements from the Union. They have no reinforcements, so whoever dies on that battlefield is going to be forced to spawn back at main. It looks like we have the IVB trying to hold on to a front spawn point. However, I think this is going to be not favoring them, as Artie is going to be clearly targeting that flag bearer, and it actually looks like they are going to be pushing out towards Union troops, forcing that flag all the way back to spawn. But at least that flag bearer is going to be reaching friendly lines rather than dying on the battlefield.
All CSA is
Actually-
getting aggressive now. I like it.
Are they trying to not cap the point right now? I can't tell.
I would say keep people close to it.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. You don't need to cap yet. You
Yeah.
could push Union into last stand.
I
IVB's
would say
falling back.
last stand, but they can knock your tickets down a lot.
Oh, that too. Either
They're
option
gonna cap.
works.
It is important to note CSA getting a little overextended here. This could provide an opportunity for the Union to push on that left side. And it looks like a small force is going to be shifting on the left, but still very hard to put together exactly where the Union troops are going to be assaulting from. But both sides are breaking, actually in the favor of the CSA, and they are going to be regrouping back towards the cap point.
59th, 5th New Hampshire, rather going down Union left. More of Sussy Brigades following them. I don't know why you'd go down the left.
Well, kind of going on the left side, you're not going to get positioned very much, but you can kind of bleed tickets that way. Just doing pushes in that direction.
I guess, but as Union, you're going to lose way more tickets pushing up against a stone wall. I guess some of it's knocked down, and honestly, there's a path not on the far left, but kind of in the center of the stone wall, where the CSA's holding, where they could run right through, but
It's like most of the Union's on the right. At least
Union
they
looks...
might move that way.
Yeah. So CSA is definitely posturing on the right side, getting that high ground, easy view of any troops moving on the left. And I think right now, for the time being, it looks like the CSA is in a position to win this round. It's going to be really hard for the Union to get, once again, another foothold. They got very, I wouldn't say lucky, very tactical in that first push.
I think what the Union might do is they'll just wait for their flags to respawn.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, they have 25 minutes to burn.
There's not really much reason for them to go in.
I think that is the right move, especially getting behind those barns and just trying to conserve tickets. But instead, it looks like they are going to be using that fence line to fire from a distance. But prime position for counter already from the CSA.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, we'll see if CSA can try to shoot Union down the final push. I mean, we got another 3-4 minutes, I think, before we see a Union move out. I mean, some Union's just holding behind the Miller farmhouse. I think that's what it is anyways.
We do have Shell Shock with the Napoleon all by himself, pushing the gun up. I believe trying to get it in canister range, but a very ballsy move by him.
What the? He's going to go retake all 3 flags right now. He's going to stick them inside the artillery and roll it back.
And he's just going to turn it around and fire the flags back.
That would be something.
The old school Rambo.
So yeah, I mean, Union probably is just waiting for that flag to despawn. I guess we have a little time to kill. General Cody, what got you in the War of Rights in the first place?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. You know, hats off to Pixelated Apollo. He made a crowdfund video, or at least War Rights created a crowdfund video, and he posted it to his channel, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, man. So I was big into Total War, loved the kind of just strategy appeal to it, but making this kind of an FPS, at least a historically accurate FPS, is what really sold me.
Dang. That's pretty cool to hear. Because I know I was mentioning you this before, but I got into War of Rights because of your videos, and I was watching them back in 2018, so it's just kind of cool to see how everything links up with each other and the cool storyline and all that. It's great.
Too cool. And like I said, you know, it is great to get more people playing this game, and, you know, really appreciate you getting the name out for War of Rights. Definitely underrated. I think this game's got a lot of potential. It's just a matter of just getting it to the masses.
So, if there was one thing that you could add to the game right now, what would you want?
Horses.
Horses? Fair enough. I remember before I made this channel, I had a side channel where I was making just meme compilations of funny moments I had in regimental matches. And the devs showed the horses in game for a little bit, just showed them riding around in it. And in the video I put horses in 2024 question mark, and look where we're at now. And this was made in 2021, I think. So
Yeah.
There's still
Well,
time.
they're slowly trotting along. But until that day comes, it's going to be a lot of very muscular men pushing these cannons around.
Is Shellshock still pushing that? No, he stopped.
Back, a few years ago, the cannons were faster when you were pushing them. Even like with one person going.
How much faster?
Not much faster, but there was a noticeable difference.
Hmm.
It wasn't such a horrible thing to like be pushing a gun by yourself to get into position. I'd say like it's about like 50 to 75% of the speed you have now with two people pushing. But that was one person back in the day.
They were just built different back in the day.
We were fresh with already just coming out.
I do remember the glitch of where you put a cannon in front of a caisson and it would launch it forward. So you kind of killed two birds with one stone to getting those pieces into position.
Union flags have
Oh.
despawned.
It looks like they are going to be making a push in the middle, going on the right.
EA and some of the stuff doing a cross map switch.
Oh, of course. Well, CSA kind of mimicking. Actually, PA is in front of that group going across the map. They're going in the Cav, A, and V, pushing towards the house.
Of course, coming down too from the hill.
CSA a little late.
Sure why. Yeah, and especially the Union too. It looks like they were trying to stage in the bushes back there. Gave the CSA valuable time to catch up. They should have been pushing from the get-go. But here we go, pushing back towards the barn.
I think I-Corps needs to not pump up like this.
What do you mean? They're
gonna be
hiding in the
easy
bush.
for Union to-
Let
yeah,
'em
everyone
go.
hiding in the singular bush, or just being
Spread out.
in that one part of the wall.
If it can work in Fortnite.
Hey, skirmish line left. If we're just gonna stand here, skirmish line left. Spread out.
Yeah, I mean, A and V is really the only group that kind of moved to that side that Union's pushing on. I-Corps,
A&V's got a pretty good position
it's
of
very nice.
firing on people that are coming in.
I-Corps moving towards Union. Is that 2 Corps that's moving up to the right, A and V?
Yes. That's 6 LA.
On the line.
And Union's charging straight to point. This is fascinating. All the CSAs on the far side. Union's going to slam into point.
I think Union should try to cap point as quickly as possible. And so far it's working, but once again, they're really in the open to already fire. And we got CSA coming in the rear.
Here come the Cav.
Yeah. Oh, Union's going to hit final push, actually. And that artillery killing a couple more of their own.
Partyman coming in from the Union. This is a last-ditch effort. All man's on deck.
2 minutes.
All right, six LA's charging the shed, taking those flags out.
Oh god. Rebels behind Schooner.
Hudson is the only one that's getting the flag out.
Oh, why you turned
Oh, he's
around?
turning- he
Why
turned
you turned around?
No,
No.
the rookie mistake.
Oh, he's gonna make. Oh, he gets.
He's still, what the heck?
Oh,
Getting chased. Oh, he got team killed. Was
No,
that
he did
no,
not
he
get
did
team
not get
killed.
team killed.
No?
It looked like
He
it.
did not. He did
Okay.
not.
Oh, see,
Wow.
I had to look at the
I know. I
console.
looked too. All right, come on, Union Artillery. Literally 1 or 2 shots. Actually, if we look in the woods on the CSA right, a couple of 6LA guys, D Company, are chasing down Mr. Slappy here. Never mind, Slappy got away.
So one thing I'm not a huge fan of from the Union, I know they're under pressure to try and cap this point as quickly as possible, but with them just trickling in like this, it's going to be free kills for the CSA. They really got to collect themselves at spawn and make one final attempt at a push. Right now, it's just, I don't know, shooting fish in a barrel.
I think their goal is to try to
Okay.
hit him in the last stand and just whittle him down this way for a minute and a half. I don't know if they'll
It's
be able
probably
to
not
win.
going to be
our-
that great because CSA is going to get like a free spawn with everybody when they hit last stand, and it's not a long distance for them to go.
And the CSA is playing this smart. The Cav put themselves out really far forward so that they'll die before last stand is hit, and they'll get a bunch of pistol shots off on the Union. So that was very well played.
I think at this point, Cav needs to stay back on the wall and just use those sharps rifles to fire at people coming in.
As they respawn in, I've assumed they will. But yeah, the CSA, it's last stand, 40 seconds. Union's got. Union Artillery. Come on.
They're not going to get majority right now. CSA is starting to push out too, even their flags.
That is a really good push. Try to get the men out there, kind of distract them from charging point, giving the rest of the boys some time to open up fire as they do push in on cap.
Well, looks like a CSA victory. Corded, you got any thoughts for the round? Quick thoughts?
CSA did pretty good. Not sure what the Union could have done better.
Yeah, it's
I haven't put much thought to it, but yeah,
definitely have.
good job, CSA.
Indeed. Cody, any quick thoughts for the round?
Yeah, I mean, Nicodemus Hill is a really hard map for the Union, so for them to keep it this close, I think their initial push was a huge success. You really don't see that all too often of getting, the first assault to hold the cap point or fence line. It's a hard map. I think they played their cards right. Like I said, it comes down to tickets and time, and unfortunately, they just did not have enough time to cap the point. But overall, I think a really good match from both sides.
Yeah, no, very, very good. CSA played that essentially how you should. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just Union lost a lot of tickets, especially when CSA came and charged the point. The charges were the big thing, and CSA was just dominating those. Obviously, with the help of artillery for CSA, that's a big thing. So, great first round. Very tactical, very using the game mechanics. I always enjoy that. But with that all being said, round 1 is finished on this channel. We're going to be doing round 2 on General's Cody channel. The link for that will be pinned in the comment section and linked at the end of this video. But anyways, we'll see you over there for round number 2.